That is truly what it takes for someone to win. Expect them to talk about something that they've never put into work in learning. I'm not a disgusting human being. It is dishonorable. I think they're a one-trick pony. I think they're that's it. Like they're robotic. They can talk about one thing and one thing only. Because I was willing to die for it. I was willing to die for it.
Get the money and it's right on cue. Keep the duffel bag up inside my coupe. Hold a couple racks, tell them I love you. You wanna be a boss, do it like I do. Yeah. Get that money, I'ma flex. I get that money, I'ma flex. I get that money, I'ma flex. You now rockin' with the best.
Welcome back to the Proferty Podcast, where we help you turn your property into profits, and we keep real estate real. I am joined today by my co-host. To my right here, Mr. Ryan Overcash, and to my left, Mr. Max El Cerrador Jimenez.
Let's go, baby.
That sounds like a boxing name or something, huh? Like when you're introducing a boxer, right?
Exactly, bro.
From Phoenix, Arizona. Oh.
What's up, fellas?
Anyway, another week.
Yes, sir.
Another show.
Yep.
And I feel like, this being episode 2, it's only the right thing to talk about why real estate.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Why real estate? Anybody out there that's listening or watching this show is wondering, well, why should I get into real estate? Why should I become a real estate entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Now, notice I didn't say a real estate investor.
Correct. Yep.
Right? I didn't say a real estate wholesaler.
Yep.
I said a real estate entrepreneur.
I like that, actually.
You know what I mean?
Good.
Because
Yeah,
a real estate
I love
entrepreneur, right? There are so many different angles.
Yep.
So many different strategies that you can take this, to, right?
Yep.
You got wholesaling, you got fix and flipping, you got buy and holding, you got creative financing,
Yep.
right? You got all kinds of wealth or income generating strategies that you can utilize if you truly are a real estate entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
So yeah, of course. Like, I love the way you put it, and I love that way that even sounds, because now you're not boxed in.
That's right.
Right? Because
Yep.
real estate is this big ocean of different ways that you can make real estate happen. So I love that. Real estate entrepreneur.
And I feel like a lot of people do box themselves in.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, the fix and flippers are fix and flippers. The real estate agents are the real estate agents.
Yep.
The wholesalers are the wholesalers. The wholesalers don't want to flip. The flippers don't want to wholesale. Right, it just goes back and forth, man. So, I really would say that I pride myself in, I got into this game with the intention of being a real estate entrepreneur.
Right.
I didn't get into this game with the intention of, I'm gonna do one thing and I'm gonna be a one-trick pony and that's all it's gonna do. That's all I'm gonna do, right? I came in with an open mind and whatever happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But with that being said, why real estate? I'm just gonna say this from personal experience, and I'll spend 1 or 2 minutes on this, and then we'll go around the room, right? Number one, for me, I've tried a lot of different ventures.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried, flipping cars, flipping clothes, corporate America. I've tried so many different ventures, man. I've tried, partnering up in other ventures even before real estate, and nothing really worked out, thankfully. And then I read a $10 book called Flip by Nick Reyes. And you want to talk about indoctrination and programming, right? He literally said in the opening chapter, hey, you need to be a real estate entrepreneur.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of people sleep on Nick Reyes.
Yeah.
He's old school. Nick Reyes is like early 2000s.
Right.
I read his book back in like 2012, 2013, when it was only $10. This guy, Nick, who's become a great friend.
Yep.
I actually shared a stage with him on 2 different occasions ever since.
Right.
Can you imagine? First of all, that should be a testament to the possibilities in real estate.
Absolutely.
I went from reading this dude's book to 6 years later sharing a stage with him, right? And then I shared a stage with him in Wisconsin once again at the, I think it was the Hustle Summit or Hustle Harder, right?
Hustle Harder.
With Tony Romero over in, so that was amazing.
That's
right.
Cool,
that
man.
was amazing. And again, when I got into this game, like I said, I had already failed at so many different ventures. And then, my belief systems changed when I got that first deal, as many people's belief system changes.
Yeah, correct.
Right? A lot of people, they're so skeptical, especially in today's age,
Yep.
right? Today's day, where everybody is selling courses. You got the 21-year-old life coaches, you got the guys that have been in here, the guys that have been in the game, 1, 2, 3 years, and are already full-time coaches.
Yep.
Right. I believe that I have forgotten more about real estate than those people have learned in the past 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? That's just the bottom line. But that's why people are so skeptical, because it's become a money grab.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is, if you get around the right people and you develop the right strategies, strategies, you are going to win. And again, real estate has changed my life. It's allowed me to retire my wife and then retire my mother a year later, right? And it's helped me, provide for myself and my family. And it's something that, will always be near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Mr. Overcash? Why real estate?
No, that's a good question. I was one of those, Carlos, unlike you, like I didn't have a really good understanding of what I wanted to do, where I wanted to even to head. My grandfather owned a motel when I was young, so it spoke to me just a little bit in that regards. But really, it was kind of just, I actually was in a church group, a small group. One of my members is like, "Hey, I'm going to this seminar. Did you want to go?" And I just caught on to the money part. It was, do you remember Nouveau Riche by chance?
No.
Yeah, it was where they basically did like a weekend seminar, and then they would sell you a package
Of what?
of real estate education. And so I was getting into it to sell the education. This is years ago.
You were selling the education?
Yeah, 2010. Didn't know anything about it.
Wow. Are they still in the game or no?
No, not even close.
Wow.
Not even close. Yeah.
Man, that's unfortunate for them, but
Yeah.
that happens a lot, right?
Yeah, no,
People
big
come
time.
and go. They're like farts in the wind, bro. But you got in the game?
I got in it for the wrong reasons. I was chasing the glam of it. I was like, oh, I never had money up until that point. It was kind of eluded me. So I was like, oh, you can make a lot of money. Sure, I'm in. Let's go. What do we do? Right? Not even paying attention to what exactly it was. I was just caught on for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But that's what it took. It took me to.
When did you transition, by the way, into what you do now, which is actually you're in the trenches?
Yeah.
When did you transition into that?
December of 2019.
Okay. And who was that with Max?
Oh, right before I met Max. Max was May of 2020.
Okay.
There was a gentleman who I ran into randomly who, when I was selling those seminars back in 2010,
Yeah.
I ran into him.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, real estate. I was like, you're still in it? That's how that all,
Wow.
that's how that conversation started. And he was like, hey man, yeah, you should, look back into it, think about it, whatever that is. I went on a sales, just with what I was doing. I was in a whole separate company doing sales, and I met a realtor, and I was just talking to him about, hey, I want to be an investor. He's like, oh, so you must know Max Jimenez. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fairly known guy here, huh?
Yeah.
Local legend.
Yep.
Legend in his own mind.
And then, oh my God. And then you got into the game with him, and
Yeah, the realtor pulled it up on Facebook and showed me, and I was like, wait a minute, he looks like my age type thing, because the way I looked at real estate wasn't the same way. I was thinking of all these older suits, silver haired, tall, wealthy dude. That's
You
just
saying
what
I'm
I-
short, bro?
wow.
But yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna answer that, Max.
Started working with him, and
Yeah,
you fell in love with it.
Right away, right off the bat. As soon as I met Max, we connected really quick. Like it was too easy.
Beautiful.
We were meant to
Yeah, and here we
That's
are.
amazing. Yeah, here we
Right,
are doing the
together.
podcast.
Here we are, man.
building a, God willing, brother, what in my opinion could be the biggest project
Yeah,
that we are all ever a part of.
absolutely.
It has the legs for it. We just got to see it through, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to put in the work.
What about you, brother? I know you come from a blue collar background.
Yeah, so interesting story about that. Like my resume is crazy, right? I always tell people, like, if you just looked at my resume itself, you would say like, this guy's probably unemployable, right? Because I was always trying to, I've always had that bug that I wanted to do something for myself.
We got to do something.
Yeah, we got to do something, right? And so, but I never knew what. I never had the information, first of all, right? I think that's one of the biggest things that I would like to talk on today is how much information changes your trajectory and your path, right? Yep. You can't, not just the information alone, but you also got to take action. But the same way, I had a friend of mine that was in real estate and that he did fix and flips. and this was like probably 2006, 2007, you know, right before the market crash. And I worked in that office. I was doing something else with sales, and you know, the market crash, and
Yep.
you know, real estate kind of just went away. And about 2009, you know, I did odds and ends. I would like buy pellets from downtown, so I would wholesale pellets. So like pellets
Damn,
of
bro.
things from like
Yeah.
inventory, right? Surplus inventory. I would buy it, and dude, I would hustle. I would do yard sales. I would from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I
Would
would
you sell them $70 a pellet?
no, so
pallet?
what I would do is I would buy the pellets and I break them down, and I would do yard sales and basically would sell the items.
Damn, bro, you're a
individually.
hustler.
Yeah, and so I was probably doing anywhere between, you know, $700 to $1,200 a day, and those pellets were costing me like $350 to $400.
So you were up.
Yeah. I was always up with those, and then obviously when the heat would come, then you're out, right? Like nobody's going outside during the heat, right?
Yeah,
So you only
bro.
had a small window. And then about 2010, I'm like, man, I didn't know what to do anymore. 2009, 2010, I didn't know what to do anymore. So I got into construction. I was like, let me go
saw
do
that.
construction for a few months, right? That was the stint, and it was like almost 4 years, almost 5 years later, where I stayed there. And then eventually, you know, when I started seeing the market shift, reached out to that friend of mine again. I said, hey, his name was Randy because he passed away now, but he's like, hey, I said, hey, Randy, what do you think about getting back into real estate? And he's like, yeah, man, let's check it out. So that's how I got back into it. The bug kind of sparked again. But like you, I didn't know anything about wholesaling. I didn't know anything about I didn't know anything about anything. All I knew was fix, like, you know, construction,
Yeah.
fix a house and sell it, right? Which most people do when they first get started or want to get started into real estate. And like you, I had a realtor that was friends of my mother-in-law. She sold her house, and my mother's like, what? My mother-in-law said, why don't you call this realtor? So I called her up, and she was in Florida. She was no longer here in Arizona. So she's like, hey, I'm not doing this no more. She goes, but before she hung up, bro, she's like, I want you to look up this name. And she gave me the name. She gave me Sean Terry's name.
Oof.
And so the next day I came home from work and I looked him up and I downloaded the ebook, and that was it. I mean,
You were hooked.
Oh, bro, I was hooked. I called my friend. I'm like, hey, bro, you know, I read this thing 5 times. I'm like, here's what it says. And the first question was like, is this legit?
That's my favorite part of that.
Damn.
Yeah, is this legit? And so, yeah, I started going to the meetups. And then, bro, it took me 11, I know we'll get into this, but it took me 11 months to get my first deal, bro.
Wow.
While working my job, I was still working in the business, yeah.
You know, and by the way,
That's what that's what made me a believer. I actually made, we locked it up for $45,700 and we sold it for $65,000.
made a fat check.
Yeah, I was done. I quit.
You got a
my job.
fatty. See, I got a little $5,000 check my first time. My first 6 months of putting down Bannatynes, my first wholesale deal, 2,400 Bannatynes later. Bro, but this is, you know what? I'm so glad that we're bringing up our beginning stories.
absolutely.
And I'll tell you why. Too many people quit too soon.
Yep. Absolutely, brother.
Something doesn't happen the first month, second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, sixth month, 11 months in.
Yeah.
Bro, your average human being, your logical, functioning human being is going to say, man, this is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. This is not moving forward. I am not getting the results. Most people quit, brother. I've seen people quit 30 days in, 60 days in, 3 months in, 6 months in. But then you know what that tells me, bro? Because I was willing to die for it.
Yeah.
I was willing to die for
Absolutely.
it. You know, and I had that conversation with God, by the way. What that tells me is they never really wanted it for.
Yeah.
They never really wanted it.
Yep.
Right? Now they thought they did.
Yeah.
And this is important for people to hear that, right? They never really wanted it. Everybody out there listening and watching, you guys may think you want to become a multimillionaire or whatever, or a millionaire or whatever. Millionaires like the new
Middle class.
the new middle class, brother. Honestly, really, for real. And you know what? Again, if you want to become a successful human being, right, you really have to be willing to put your life on the line for what it is that you truly want for the rest of your life, or it's not going to happen. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, to your point is, you know, one of the biggest pitfalls that I see with new people coming in is they actually fall in love with the end result more than the actual work and the process, right?
That's right.
That's the one common denominator that I've seen people who actually quit, right? Is they fall in love with the end result and they chase that and don't ever really fall in love with the process. So I believe
It's an illusion, bro.
It is.
It's an illusion, right?
It's like trying to catch butterflies, rather just
Wow, bro. It really is, bro. Because listen, like people will in their head they saw this check on a presentation,
Yeah, exactly.
or they see these fat checks on a landing page, right, or on some webinar.
Or in front of a Chase Bank, I think.
Right, or in front of the Chase Bank, everybody's done it, right, at some point. But it's just marketing. But I'll tell you what,
yeah,
right?
I know.
They see the checks, and that's the end result. And then now all they can think about is the money,
Exactly.
right?
Score.
But what they're missing, right, or what they're failing to miss, is that the actually journey, the growth, right? That is what you got to fall in love with. That because I believe that your first year in this industry, your first year, maybe your second, you're gonna grow the most you'll ever grow in this industry. And most people, like I said, man, most people will not survive. Most people will not survive. I remember when I was in the year was 2013, and I was borrowing my girlfriend's, who is now my wife. I was borrowing her 2008 Nissan Rogue, and every single Wednesday we already had our first home, and every single Wednesday she would come home and she would make me 100, 120, sometimes 150 bandit signs. And I got pictures of her and the only daughter I had at the time, which Michaela. They were right there, bro, on the dinner table, just putting out bandit signs, you've seen me post some of them up, right? And then, can you imagine, bro? Like, your girlfriend or your the mother of your child, who's now my wife. I don't do the baby mama thing anymore, like a lot of the guys out there. And I'm not because I'm better than anybody, but it's just not right, right? And then your daughter, right? And they're believing in you.
Yeah.
And they're contributing towards the dream, bro. And they're just like, we buy houses cash. Exactly. And then the Google number in the bottom, right? And they're putting out they got skin in the game with you.
Yeah.
I could not go back, bro. I could not go back, bro. And then I'm loading it up, right? I'm loading up all these bandit signs in the back of that 2008 Nissan Rogue. Yeah. And then I'm going out to every single corner that I thought was going to be a successful corner, from Maryville up to North Phoenix, right, to South Phoenix. And then you're doing that for 6 months, and and at some point, like, I remember I paid, like, my brother-in-law $50 to drive me around.
Right.
Showed up once, never showed up again. I remember I paid one of my really good friends I grew up with. He was going into nursing school. I paid him a few weeks. Showed up, never showed up again. Like, nobody believed, bro. Yeah. They didn't believe enough. Can you imagine if they would have stuck it out, right? Like, they did not believe that this was gonna happen. Because to be an entrepreneur, you kind of do have to be a little crazy, right?
You do. Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, you gotta be.
So.
You gotta be.
That's all I'm saying is, for anybody out there that's watching and listening, hey, listen, things are not going to go your way right off the bat.
That's normal,
right? Now, there's been anomalies out there where, like, the first 30 days, someone lands a fat check and they're like, whoa. But then, right? So then what happens to those people that don't land another check for like 9 or 10 months? They quit too.
They stop believing.
They stop believing, right? So again, if you have to just stay in the game. Yeah. Like, if this is truly what you want, right? You got to be willing to sacrifice and put your life on the line for the next 3 years so that you can live the next 30 years of your life the way most people can't.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to ask you guys one question each, because I think this is important. I know you'll have some insight, especially Carlos will have some insight. So there's two things that I looked at. So when I found out about wholesaling, I went to my first meetup and then my first event in October of 2015. The year coming up, right? Because it was going into the holidays, so I kind of put everything in the back burner, but I was still going to the meetups and stuff. But from January, without God hears me, from January 2016 all the way up to June 2016, bro, I turned off all the music. Nobody has to get crazy, but talking about what you just said, you got to be a little crazy, right? Mm-hmm. My wife was like, what the heck are you doing? Like, no more music, no more TV, none of that, bro. Listening to podcasts, and that helped me launch even more faster than anything that I ever would have done, right? Plus, the second thing I did was I stopped going to birthday parties, bro.
Oh,
I
come
stopped
on, bro.
bro.
That's a little much, bro.
That's just me, bro.
Man, you stopped going to the birthday parties, bro?
But after I
Damn.
started getting going, you have
bro.
to,
You didn't even go to your own kid's birthday party? That's
Well,
wild,
not that
bro.
extreme, but I'm saying like I would get invited to birthday parties. I would get invited to go out and stuff. I was like, no, I'm in the middle of doing something that'll come later, right? So those are two extreme things that I did that helped me because, bro, I had to rewire myself, bro. I didn't even know what a checking account was till I was 19, bro.
Damn.
I used to carry cash, get paid cash, and my wife was the one that taught me, like, babe, you can't carry that much cash around you.
Damn, bro.
But think about that, right? So I had
Rubber
to
band
rewire-
man.
Rubber band man. So you have to rewire yourself, bro. That's the mindset. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
Oh yeah, 1000%. I'm obsessed with self development. You already know. And back before I got into real estate, what propelled me into real estate was doing something very similar to what you did. A lot of people know it's out there. It's not secret. I got in trouble. When I got out of trouble, I knew I needed to do something different, and so I changed everything that I was doing before.
That's right.
And I started reading books, listening to podcasts. I was in a sales position that I drove all day, like 5 to 8 hours a day.
Yep.
So I started getting through what am I the Audibles.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I'm like, oh, you still listen? Like you listen to more than one? Like I thought it was just listen to one and you're good, but I just I started getting obsessed with it.
That's
because
right.
It really just spoke to me. It brought the best out of me. And when I would, like, say I had a friend, hey, dude, check this out, listen to this, and they wouldn't even listen to it or like even show any interest. I'm like, all right, something's weird with me, but like I started catching on to that. Like that started becoming my entertainment, what I wanted to do. And to this day, I even joke around with Max on this. Like I have a hard time sitting down and watching regular TV. I just can't. My brain always says, what can you be doing, Ryan, to get better right now? And this whatever you're watching is making money off you. You're not making money off it.
Ooh.
And I get up and I will just change. I do it all the
Hit the
time.
button for that one right there. So the word I heard you say and the word I heard you say and the word I heard that I didn't say it but I should have said is obsessed.
Obsessed, bro.
Right? That is truly what it takes for someone to win in the game of real estate. You got to be obsessed because your commitment has to be stronger than your failures.
Oof. Yeah.
Right? Your commitment has to be stronger than your negative thoughts.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, the fact of the matter is, brother, that there is 99. If there's 100 things pointing at you, 99 of them are meant to make you fail.
Distract you, yeah.
Right? 99 of them. So watch this. So my man here, Ryan, this dude got obsessed, started listening to podcasts, and then you just became obsessed with. You became a growth junkie.
Yeah.
Right? To the point where now you're like your body fat percentage is like 1.3 or something, bro. It's crazy.
Zero,
It's ridiculous,
I
bro.
think, I know, right?
It's ridiculous,
Bad
bro.
on this podcast.
Right? This dude don't even got he don't got fat in his ears, bro. Right? It's wild. But bro, you and you know what, bro? I'm so glad that the transformation with you happened, obviously, right? For not only for you, but for your family and for us and for the world. Because we need more people like Ryan Overcash.
Yeah.
We need more transformations because that shows people that change is possible.
Yeah.
No matter what age, no matter what background, right? No matter what upbringing, change is possible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then Max, with you, bro, obviously bro, you come from a construction background.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And you became obsessed.
Exactly.
You started listening to the podcast and you're going to all the meetups and right. But see, most people won't.
Yeah.
Most people will not do it, bro.
Yep.
Right. And you know what's beautiful, bro? I remember, watch this. Who knows the Delgadillo brothers in Phoenix? Alex and Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a Mexican from Mexico, and these dudes I think they're Mexican from Mexico too, right? Mexican.
Yeah.
Bro, the year was 2012, 2013, bro. I used to watch
They're big time.
I used to watch their Instagram posts, bro. And that was like that to me meant way more than watching some celebrity, in a jet. Or,
Yeah.
Like I remember they would have their little black Mercedes Benz or their black BMW, their black car in front of a remodel, right? A house they were remodeling.
They were remodeling.
And they would just post something underneath. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I want to do that.
I love that.
I want to be that.
Yeah.
And I've always openly have said that, man.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? This is, and I'm using a lot of this to metaphorically speak to the people that are listening and watching.
Yep.
That I was in those people's DMs. I was in, hey brother, can I meet up with you at one of your flips? Hey bro, what's going on? Hey, can I ask you a few questions? Hey man, can I take you out for a cup of coffee? Hey, can I buy you a meal? I was a guy being very proactive. I was relentless.
Yeah.
I was relentless, bro. And you know what? Respectfully, I got insulted because the Delgadillo brothers never really had time for me.
Yeah.
But you know what? As I became an entrepreneur, I understood then, right? At first I was like, my pride and ego were like, look at these guys. They think they're too good. They don't want to meet with me.
You didn't stop.
I didn't stop.
That's a good message to
Yeah.
others
No,
out
no,
there
you know
would
what?
be turned off by that.
My toxic ego at that moment, bro. You know what? My toxic ego helped me in a sick way get through a lot of boundaries, right?
Yeah.
My toxic ego said, you know what, brother, if you don't have time for me, I understand. Maybe I got the message still, right? On Instagram DMs. But I was like, just know, brother, that I'm gonna make it in this space. I'm gonna be somebody one day. I'm a lion, bro. I don't stop. I remember I wrote him a whole novel. And he was like, hey brother, relax. No, he didn't say that. No, he didn't say that. No. He was just like, hey bro, he was. Both of them were very graceful, and I got a lot of love and respect for them. My message to anybody out there listening is this, right? Reach out, just like I did.
Yeah.
Be relentless, just like I was. But bring some kind of value to that person.
Brother.
I wasn't bringing any value, and yet I felt entitled that they owed me a cup of coffee, or I owed them. They owed me the time for me to take them out for a cup of coffee. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, bring something to the table. Those people didn't need anything from me. I needed everything from them at that very moment. Yeah. So if you're out there listening and you're just beginning, right? Show up with something that you can put on the table and say, hey, we need to meet because I believe that I can help you with this, this, and this. That is how some of the best partnerships and the best relationships flourish.
Yeah. I love that. Something that I'm thinking about while you're saying this, because I love how you started the podcast, real estate entrepreneurs.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So one of the things I believe that, a factor of why people struggle in real estate, right, specifically wholesale, is the one thing is like they're in the wrong vehicle, bro. Like they want to be entrepreneurs, but they're probably not made to be in real estate. Sometimes people don't actually get that, right? And so, because I struggled with that for a little bit, right? When I first started, remember it took me 11 months to really get this down. But by the 6th month, I wanted to stop, right? And this goes back to another thing, right? For beginners is that you got to surround yourself with the right people. People are not going to, the dream killers and the people who are going to, take away, your ambition. And I'm blessed to have that. Like I had my wife was always supportive. My father-in-law was always there. Obviously I didn't hang out. I didn't go out to party clubs and like that, but they're the ones who encourage me because like, maybe this thing's not for me. And they're like, you know what? They seen the work, just like you're saying, they seen the work that I put in. My wife would help me. My son would help me as well too. And they're like, you can't give up. Just give it one more chance. Like can't give up. And sure enough, bro, like not even 4 months, 4 to 5 months later, it worked out, right? I contracted properties, but they didn't work out, right? But I think a lot of people, when they get into the entrepreneur space, a lot of them they have the wrong vehicle, right? And I think for us specifically, real estate was the vehicle that helped us specifically, starting with wholesale.
That's right.
I think that's for those that want to get into real estate and they feel and they know that real estate is their vehicle. I think wholesaling is really, I believe, the number one way to get into real estate and lead you into other bigger things.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. I believe that a lot of people don't even understand what wholesaling is.
No.
Right? Anybody want to break that down? Yeah. What is wholesaling?
Sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing, right? Okay, so you market, right? And there's free marketing and there's paid marketing, right? I'll give you some of the free marketing strategies that I would implement and execute on when I really didn't have much money. I think my budget was like maybe a couple $100 a month, right?
Right.
So it was like handwritten bandit signs, right? And you can literally get pre-printed bandit signs for like $1.20 with the whole H rod, right?
Yeah.
With the little
Yeah,
H
the
stick,
H-rod.
you know.
Hey, how was it burying them here in Arizona, bro? How was that?
Bro, I had to carry around water. The ground was rough, bro.
You know what I did? I carried on a drill bit because of my construction.
Yeah.
And then it just
In the ground?
yeah, bro.
Damn, bro. Well, you were smarter than I was, bro. I was
No,
pouring
because
water
I
on the
learned
dirt.
that because I was using the sticks, right? The wood sticks. Bro, one hammer and it just split. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not using
It was
this
hard
anymore.
ground,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, handwritten bandit signs, and in most markets, bandit signs they're not effective.
Yeah, right.
I remember putting out, I would put out 100 back then. This is like years, like over a decade ago.
Yeah.
I would put out 100 to 150 and get like 1 to 3 calls. You know what I mean, right?
And 2 of those were from
Two of
code
them were from
enforcement.
two of
from
them
the
were
city.
from the city of Phoenix. I saw your sign. I'm gonna get you, right? Hey, wrong number.
You could always tell too. You want to buy a property, and like you start asking questions, they don't even know how to answer it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I don't know why they were so mad.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Bro, if I didn't put out bandit signs, they wouldn't have jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm helping you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, I would also door knock.
Yeah.
I would go. Bro, me and Jared Vidales, we took down neighborhoods. Me and Jared,
Yeah.
right? We took down neighborhoods back in like 14. Like we were just. Hey, how's it going? Hey, we have a flip. We didn't have a flip. Hey, we got a property down the street here, and we're looking to buy more properties in this area. We're willing to offer cash, and we're willing to buy the property in as is condition. Here's my business card from what was it? What's that? Vistaprint.
Yeah,
$75 for my little business cards. Here you go. Right, Carlos Reyes, investor, I buy houses cash as is. Here you go. Next one. Hey, how's it going? I got a flip down the street. I would do that, bro. Hundreds of doors, bro, with Vidales. Here's another thing that I did. Ready? I would, with the printer, right? With the printer, I would Microsoft Word, put down I buy houses fast, take a little image of a for sale sign book there, and it was all Microsoft Word, and I would print out like 500 of those flyers from that big printer, and then I would go to like Home Depot and Walmart and Lowe's, and I would put them on the windshields, bro. And the security guards, bro, bro, the security guards like, hey, what the hell are you doing? So that was another way. You see, like there's so many different ways, right? You can network with title companies. You can network with investors, right? You can go on social media and all the Facebook real estate groups, and even just on your own personal profile, and just constantly let people know who you are, what you do, right?
Absolutely.
That's it. So there's so many different free ways to market, because the whole objective or the goal is to get leads that come in that are interested in hearing about your business, right? So those are some free marketing channels.
Can I say something to add to that? So my deal, that first deal I got, didn't come. So I was doing the bandit signs and the yellow letters and the door knocking, but my deal didn't come from that. It actually came from one of my wife's coworkers. This goes back to being obsessed and telling everybody what
That's
you
right.
do, right?
That's right.
Providing value. That's how I got my deal. So if you're out there, like that's another free source, like connecting with people, right? Like building relationships. And that's how my first deal came. Was this lady that worked with my wife? She had this condo for 2 years, making payments on it. Supposedly they were going to rehab it. When I went to look at it, man, this thing was a dump, and she never knew that she could sell it that way. And so
She thought she needed to remodel it.
She needed to remodel it, and that's why she's like, all I want is this mortgage paid off, because I've been paying for 2 years and I don't want to pay it no more. Okay, and she owed $45,000, and so that's what I ended up getting under contract for. So went through that relationship. But you know what's something funny, Carlos, and I want to have Ryan talk a little bit about you guys, is today, the things that we were doing before, like there's more opportunity today, but there's also more distraction.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I think you and I were talking about this, right, Ryan? You want to
starting with social media, right? Like people ain't social media is when I was on social, social media was just a place where you would, place food pictures and call it food porn, right? Post pictures of your dog and call it dog porn.
Yeah, right.
Post pictures of your mustache and call it mustache porn. You know what I'm saying? Post pictures of your beard and call it beard porn. Have you ever used the hashtag beard porn before?
I haven't.
Look it up.
Really?
It's real.
It's a real
I'm gonna pull it out right now.
Damn, bro.
I'm gonna pull it out right now, bro. Watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this. Go to the search button. Go hashtag beard porn. And bro,
Careful, bro.
There's 2.9 million posts. Bro, look at this, bro. It's getting.
Oh my God.
Bro, beard porn is crazy, bro. Look at that. There's beard everywhere. Bro,
You never gave him the idea, bro.
Bro, whenever you post a selfie, bro, hashtag beard porn.
beard porn.
That's right.
Hey, I'm gonna blow up.
I'll find you on there. So anyway, yeah, you were saying something about now there's a lot of distractions, clearly. We just got
There's so
distracted,
many.
right?
There's so it's there's just so much information out there, right? Like you were getting it from one source, maybe two sources.
I was getting it from two sources. Flip, like I said, Flip from Nick Reyes.
Right.
Nick Reyes, it's sad to say this, but a lot of people in the social media space, right? Like I don't know why, I without even thinking of it, I just subconsciously was attracted to Nick Reyes.
Yeah.
Maybe because he was a Latino, I don't know, right?
Right.
But I wasn't really attracted to like Cody Sperber, or I wasn't really attracted to like Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
I wasn't really attracted to any of those. And then, like 2 years later, then I started to become attracted to Sean Terry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it is very weird. I feel like certain, certain cultural backgrounds do, you are attracted to certain individuals, right?
Yeah.
Whether we want to admit it or not. You know what I mean?
I think also too, I'm a big believer is when the student's ready, the teachers show up, right? The right
Oof.
one. So
The teacher appears. Hold on.
teacher appears.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Just because, you especially if you're a person that desires to learn and, because a lot of times, we learned this. Remember, we hired a Navy SEAL guy come in. Yeah. I love what he said. So he was talking about people that watch podcast or listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, and they don't do anything with it. He said there's two type of people. There's people who entertain themselves and people who actually educate themselves. The difference is those who take action on the things that they listen, read, and then those that just watch just to watch the information.
Well,
You're
bro,
just
the
entertaining
epitome
yourself.
of that, the epitome, bro. I read a $10 book, bro.
Yeah. That's what I'm
And by the
saying.
way,
I read an ebook. I
bro,
didn't
that's
pay
what I'm
for
saying.
it.
Like, I believed everything that was in that book to the point where after I read chapter 1 or 2, it literally said, go put out bandit signs. And I was like, all right. And then I went out and put out I'm telling you, bro, you have to be almost a crazy man, a lunatic,
Yeah, absolutely.
to make this real estate thing work.
Yeah, you do.
Right? 100%. There's a lot of false expectations out there. Again, people fall in love with the results and they're not willing to put in the work. Right?
Absolutely.
So, but back to what you were saying, Max, when you're getting into real estate, okay, what are some beginner mistakes that people should try to avoid? Can we start with false expectations?
Yeah, false
Right.
expectations is definitely up there on the list just because, again, we keep saying, many people fall in love with the end results, which is totally an illusion because number one is you don't know how much time that person spent generating that check that they're showing you. You don't know if they were backed by, huge funding, right? You don't know any of those insights. So you gotta get away from that, right? Admire it and say, wow, I can probably do that one day, right? You admire those things and you say, that's great that I can get results in this business, but you got to continue and put your head down to work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else that I believe that mindset and taking action, I believe that those are the two biggest skill sets that you're going to need when you're beginning in this industry, right? Having the right mindset. What is the right mindset? Growth. Hey, I am going to be open-minded. I am going to learn from everyone. Yeah. I am never going to give up. Yeah. Right? I am going to, do whatever it takes to make this happen. I am going to see it through. Yeah. This is not going to be one of those situations like many times before where, I try to flip shoes or flip cars or flip baseball cards and then I quit 3, 4, 5, 6 months in. Yeah. That is not what this is going to be, right? There is no plan B. I am burning the ships. Yeah. I believe that is the mindset that you got to have in this business, and then taking action, which is like every single day doing something that gets you closer to your desired outcome. Yeah. Those are the two 100%. Biggest things that I just want to tell everybody out there, every aspiring, real estate entrepreneur that's listening out there, is the mindset, number one, which I know Overcash has because he has 3% body fat. And then me and Max actually have, even though we have above 20% body fat, we still have the mindset. We didn't say body set, we said mindset, right? So you got to have the mindset. Number two, you gotta take action. There are so many people out there that pay for programs, that pay for courses, that go to the events, that go to the workshops, and then they go to the next one and the next one and the next one. I call them event junkies.
Yeah.
They do nothing with the information, with the knowledge that they're given. They do not take action. They don't take not even 10%.
No.
They don't even apply and implement 10% of the things that they've learned.
Yeah.
If they only implemented 10% of the things that they learned, they would stop going to events, workshops, buying courses, thinking that the next person that's hot on the list of gurus and educators, that's going to be the guy to save them. No, the only person that can save you is who?
Yep.
Yourself. That's right.
Professional students.
Oof. Right. So I believe that, those are some of the beginner mistakes that people need to be conscious of.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Avoid
Ryan,
the shiny objects.
What else you got over there, Ryan? Because I don't even want to get into, I think for the next episode, we have to start talking about sales and marketing.
Yeah.
We have to start talking about how to get your first deal. We have to start talking about the immediate strategies that you can implement that are affordable and very feasible, right? So I think that's the next thing that we should do, right? And taking action, right? We'll leave that for episode 3. But Ryan, what else do you have to say about some of these beginner mistakes?
You hit on it pretty well right there. Like the biggest thing is again, you guys know me as a mindset person. You got to have your mind ready to go and be ready for all outcomes and know that it's okay for this to be hard. It's normal for it to be hard, and to prepare yourself for that, so that when you do hit that wall, that hardness, whatever it is that's difficult for you, you don't just go, oh, I suck, I must not be cut out for this. That was an old mindset of mine, right? Long time ago. And what I had to do before I got into real estate, because I knew it would be tough, I wrote down support system. This is no joke. I went to my wife and I said, hey, there's going to be a point where I want to quit and I want to stop doing this. And I go,
That's amazing.
and where that came from was because, again, playing the tape back from the past of like, I don't want to repeat past mistakes. Like, is this just going to be the next thing that Ryan tried and just didn't do? And I didn't want that, right?
That's
We
tough,
talked
bro.
about already,
Yeah.
like kids looking at me, like my daughters, seeing what I'm in. They're getting to the age now of hearing dad saying certain things. Well, wait, didn't dad say something a year ago he was going to do it?
And he didn't do it.
So on and so forth, right? Yeah. So I knew that. And you can ask my wife to this. I said, hey, this is the term. I'll never forget the term. I even said, you're going to have to walk me off the ledge.
Oh.
Now, here's what's really cool about doing that. Because I said that to her and I prepared that, I really never had to do that. It's because I finally took control of the mind, of my mind.
That's
and said,
right,
okay,
yeah.
it's gonna go left, it's gonna go right, it's gonna go up and down. Ryan, that's okay. What's not okay is for you to quit. And so that's what I did ahead of time was, and you guys have heard this from other people too, like Kobe's talked about, right? Signing a contract of the beginning of the summer of what his training regimen was, and he stuck with it all the way through, right? Signing a contract with yourself. So that's what I would say when people come up, to us or to me and any of the networking events or just on my own, whatever, of, hey man, like I really want to get into it. I start having that conversation about, like you said, Carlos, I want to know about their mindset.
That's right.
Because I see this, how it could just destroy someone. To be honest with you, and I don't want that either, right? So if you're not ready for this, that's the thing, right? You know what? You got to get your mind ready, because you can't just walk into this and knock it out of the park. If you do, good for you.
Yeah.
Right? There are some that do. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. More power to you. The majority of us, you got to persevere.
That's right.
You got to have that growth mindset to know.
But what did we say, bro? Are you willing to sacrifice the next 3 years, right? To live like most people can't the following 30 years.
I love what you just said. And here's what I'll tie with that. I think is really big. And Max hears me talk about this all the time. What are you doing this for? What is your real reason? What is your purpose or your why to get into real estate? If your purpose or your why is not strong enough, if you can't lean into it enough, no matter what
You're
it
not
is,
gonna
real
make it.
estate, you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
What drives you when everything's going wrong? nothing's going right. Your emotions are saying give up. What drives you to continue to push through, right? And that's what it really comes down to is you got to know your purpose, your why. What are you really into this for? And if it's big enough, you'll make it happen.
Yeah, you know, man, that's amazing, by the way. Oof, I got chills. What are you doing this for, right? One of the best text messages that I got was from my son. It was probably, I want to say last year, I don't remember if I shared this with you, when he said, he goes, Dad, he goes, out of everything that I got from you, the one thing he said is, and I'm kind of getting teary-eyed here, he said, thank you for not giving up. I seen how much you struggled, and you still keep going.
I love that, bro. I love that, brother. That's you know, you're setting the example, man. You know, our children are watching
for the text, but
they're,
it's back
brother. They're watching what we're doing, not what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Right? Our kids are watching what we do, not what we say. You know, that's a big one, bro. And he should be proud. I've seen him come into the office, man, and you know, I think he sees the energy and he sees what we're building here. You know, it's like such a beautiful thing. But I would say 90% of people, the reason, like you said, Ryan, why they don't make it, right? Why they don't make it is because of their mindset.
Yeah.
It's this business is not complicated, right? Which on the next episode we're gonna actually break down how easy this business is.
Exactly.
Right? This business is a sales and marketing game. It's not complicated, but the most challenges.
You make 10 calls and you talk to one, like
you make one offer.
Yeah,
Make exactly right. But the fact of the matter is, you know, people they don't quit because of the complexity of the business. They quit, you know, because their mind gives out on them. You know, their mind gives out on them. They go through anxiety. They go through depression, right? They develop this, what's it called? Comparison anxiety.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Huge, bro.
Comparison anxiety. They're looking at that guy killing it and ripping the checks and showing the checks and driving the Lambos or whatever. And they're like, oh, man, I've been at this for 6 months and 9 months. How come I can't get the same result?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, come on, dude. First of all, you don't even know if that dude's real, right? Like that dude is
Comparing
like
yourself to an
Jesus, dude.
illusion.
That's what I'm saying. 9 out of 10 of these people on Instagram are illusions,
Exactly.
right? So, and again, I wrote this down because I felt it was very important, right? You triggered this when, you know, when you were going through your challenges, when we were going through our challenges. Please understand that if you're not being challenged, you're not growing, right? And if you're not growing, you're dying. You should be concerned when you're not being challenged. When you're not being challenged, you're in trouble. You're dead in the water. And I say that to my people and like my team members, my staff here is like, hey, yeah, I know this is supposed to be hard because growing is not easy. Growing is hard. This is supposed to be, you know, you want an easy job, right? You want easy, then it's not going to be here, right? But you should also understand that, you know, you're being challenged and therefore you're growing and therefore it's the best place to be, right? Better. Exactly. You're getting better, bro. You're ripping that muscle down, right?
You ready? I want to scare the beginners.
Do it. Scare them, bro.
You know what's crazy is as much as we're making it, how hard it is to get started, how much it gets even harder once you start leveling up. 'Cause it demands a lot more from you.
In the early ages, and I was like, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear it gets harder. But I understand
But you get better.
You get better. That's why I wrote the quote. Jim Rohn, he said, don't look at what you're getting, look at what you're becoming. Right?
Oof.
Because you do get better.
Ooh. You got to
for that share that so much with me, Max. I share that with my kids all the time. Anybody in my close circle, and they say, oh, man, that's hard. I'm just going, hey, man, all you got to do is get better skills.
There you
go. Don't worry about it.
I love that.
It is so simple.
Yeah.
But anyway,
simple concept.
Yeah,
but
that's always
difficult to attain, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Well, any other closing comments from you guys? Closing remarks for episode 2? I felt like that was a good segue.
Yeah, I love it.
Totally. You know, one thing I just want to point out, you said earlier for the anyone listening here, Carlos said this, and I wrote it down. He read, I forgot the guy's name, Nick
Reese.
Nick Reese read a book of his. You weren't even in real estate yet.
Nope.
6 years later, he was sharing the same stage. And that's something I don't think we talk about quite a bit here. Like a lot of people, even before I got into this, you think like old school thought process. Oh, I got to be in there for 20, 30, 40 years before I make a difference.
Yeah,
You can make a difference pretty quick, right? You really can. So that's the thing. In the matter of no time, so to speak. You can change your life. You can change your whole trajectory in here. Like I said, Carlos read a book. 6 years later, he was sharing the stage with the same guy.
Not 10 years later, not 20 years
Yeah.
later, right? 6 years later, we're sharing the same stage as him. 3 years later, we're doing more deals, way more deals than that person. And you know what? He was, by the way, first of all, I will always pay homage to the people that I learn from.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a disgusting human being that seriously, right? Like think about it, bro. It is dishonorable
Yeah,
not to honor the people
100%.
that helped you along the way.
No, 100%.
You truly are the scum of the earth, if that's where, I have never in my life and will never, God willing, deny, who I learned what from.
Yeah,
who lit me up when I was in the darkness. You know what I mean? And lighting up somebody else's candle doesn't dim mine. There's just more light in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I will always give love to Nick Ruiz. I will always give love to Sean Terry. Those are two people that I specifically came up under in the real estate space. And I will never, ever shy away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ever. So, shout out to Nick if you ever get around to watching this, or I'll probably just send you the link. Right. And shout out to Sean Terry, one of the pioneers
big
in the industry. But outside of that, fellas, I think this is going to be a beautiful show.
Absolutely.
I think this was a great segue, right? It's like, okay, we're talking about how to get started, the biggest mistakes you can make, and what it's going to take to actually get fully in the game, right? And that's what we hit today. And I think next week or next episode, we get into the weeds.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I'm excited. Yeah, I love this, laying the groundwork, right? The foundation of how you need to rewire your mindset, right? And above that is that not only intake new information, but you, like you said, take action. I mean, you got professional students, bro, and it's like...
You know what I love about both of you, by the way? This isn't just going to be a boring real estate show.
No.
There's going to be a lot of what's more important than anything, right, than the X's and O's, a lot of mindset, a lot of personal development, a lot of growth here that we discuss. That is what's going to make this show different.
100%.
Right? You go onto one of these podcast shows, what do they talk about 99% of the time? Real estate.
Real estate, yeah.
But what are they talking about that's even far greater and more important?
That was something.
Right?
Yeah.
You, the person, the individual, the
person.
growth, right?
Exactly.
The development of self. They don't talk about that. And that's why this real estate show is going to be completely different.
I even think that's strategic, by the way. People don't talk about that.
They strategically don't?
Yeah.
Why? Well, I actually don't think that they can.
Oh, that's another
I'm
side.
sorry,
of
like-
it.
That's
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you're headed.
No,
I
I personally...
No, add that to the other side of that coin.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
strategically
personally-
don't do it because they don't.
I don't
can't.
think they can.
Because
I don't
can't.
think they can.
Just like-
I think they're a one-trick pony.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
they're that's it. Like they're robotic. They can
It's
talk
the-
about one thing and one thing only.
And they're shooting darts, right? And it's
Well, how do you expect them to talk about something that they've never put in the work in learning?
yeah, that's true.
You've put in the work. You put in the years. Like, bro, you probably have listened to more podcasts than I have. This dude, I was listening, bro. I read 3 chapters of John, the book of John in the Bible, because this dude told me to go download this app, and he's like, you can listen to it, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I read 3. I got 3 chapters in this
That was
morning
amazing,
because
huh?
of him. I was like, this is great. I was even listening to him on my way to work out in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys have put in the work on the personal development side.
Yeah.
When you're quoting Jim Rome and, you guys are like, bro, this is what's going to make this show different. And I'm excited for every single listener out there because you are going to get everything you need out of this show. So
I love it.
Until next time, do me a huge favor. The only fee that Max, Ryan, and myself, the only fee we charge is this. Subscribe if you haven't. Like it, comment, share it. We want to see you interact with us, and we're always going to get back to you guys. Until then, thank you for joining us on episode 2. We will see you on the next one.